Good morning, India. You're watching CVR News, your one-stop solution for all the latest news and analysis fresh from the oven. I'm Anukriti Govind Sharma, and today I am joined by Mr. Idris right here at the studio, and together we are going to take you through all the latest news of the day along with its analysis. But before that, here's wishing all the lovely and the smart, gorgeous women of Hyderabad a very happy International Women's Day.
Yes.
Each for equal.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the logo for International Women's Day 2020. Having said that, Idris, what do we have here? Some fresh news from the oven at our table.
Yeah, I can start with this coronavirus.
Yes, that is absolutely
So-
true, because I have the headlines right here. I
Yes,
have
if
Deccan
I see-
Chronicle with me, and Kuwait has suspended flights to India and also 6 countries. It
Right.
says that Kuwait has been banning flights from 7 countries including India because of
There's
the
a
COVID-19
possibility
scare.
that, these cases have, if we see the Hindu paper,
Yes.
the first headline, the very first headline, it says the cases have jumped to 34 now.
Looks like this headline is there for every newspaper today.
It's alarming. The situation is alarming, and the cases are increasing. 34 is
34 is the
number.
current number in India, and the
it's
number is
spreading.
steadily rising.
so. One case has been confirmed from Tamil Nadu, and another one from Ladakh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the latest update on COVID-19.
And, if I have some more information here. I can, we can talk about the
Absolutely.
world situation, how it is. So
Let's just share it with our viewers.
yes, so
Let's see.
COVID-19 has crossed more than 1 lakh cases, while the numbers in China continue to fall. It is now growing in Europe and Asia, with 3 new epicenters: South Korea, Italy, and Iran. South Korea has been hit the hardest after China. Its problems compounded by initial spread among a cult like Christian seed numbering and about 2 lakh that has met and works in secrecy. While Italy has seen sharp rise in new cases in recent days, it has quickly been followed by France and Germany, Spain, and then it seems now to be spilling over the other European Union countries. The United States is also showing a large number of infected, which appear to be community spread and not just from the people coming from abroad or because of contacts with such people. Experts have pointed out that a true picture of community spread in United States cannot be done till extensive testing is done of the communities, which the United States is still unable to do. While China tested 320,000 persons in Guangdong province over 20 days, South Korea is testing 10,000 per day. According to the Atlantic, US has tested less than 2,000 people till now. To compound the mess, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it's also known as CDC, has stopped reporting the numbers of tests being conducted, believing ignorance, at least for the disease. It's a bliss. If Vice President Pence is to be believed, the United States will soon have the ability to conduct 1 to 1.5 million. Not only evidence is visible, but no outline of how this will be achieved has been disclosed by the United States administration. Through the numbers in India are much smaller, and I think 34 cases which have been, and the bulk of them are still from those who traveled or are traveling from other countries. The problem with these numbers are again the lack of testing. The only center in India that can test for such samples is the National Institute of Virology, located in Pune, and obviously does not have the bandwidth to rest a large number of samples unless we can ramp up the testing and the infrastructure to test. A number of labs and test kits for tests, we have no ability to test the numbers that are likely to have been affected. Both United States and India seems to believe in messaging the news and not in talking action for strengthening the public health infrastructure. The only defense against large-scale epidemics, and let's be clear, we are no longer talking about if epidemic will reach countries, but when. Every country needs to be prepared and prepared now, with testing capabilities, infrastructure to be quarantined, suspected cases in hospital infrastructure to isolate patients in special negative pressure rooms and ability to handle serious cases in intensive care facilities. Instead, Trump and Pence are simply bluffing the people, claiming that United States by banning travel from China has saved itself as testing capacity, which will miraculously manifest itself and will produce the working vaccine within 3 months. It has also put a ban on any health official to talk on the media or in front of media without clearing it with the administration.
Well, Idris, that has been quite an update on the COVID-19. And like you said, let's just tell our audience right now that there is not much to worry about and there should not be a state of panic across the Telangana state. Why? Because according to my Deccan Chronicle and the City News I have right here, and according to the City News, the Chief Minister of Telangana state, KCR, is assuring the people again and again that there is nothing to worry about as far as the COVID-19 outbreak is concerned, because like you said, we just have one person who has entered the state of Telangana and that one person was infected. So the virus has entered into Telangana so far only through one person.
One person.
Now KCR also says that one of his scientist friends has informed him that this virus will not be able to sustain itself or multiply beyond 27 degrees Celsius.
Right.
And right now, the current temperatures across the state are anywhere between 30 to 38 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, so
and that is the scientific update. That is the basis of a state of no panic.
Right.
And why there should be a state of no panic? Because with such hot temperatures right now,
Right.
which all of us are very aware
We're
of,
also sweating in the
we are
studio.
sweating in our
Everybody
studio with 3 air conditioners working right now, and I'm sure that the virus will not be able to survive for much longer with such high temperatures in the state already.
Exactly. At least in Telangana as of now, right?
At least in Telangana, yes, the people of Telangana are quite safe. And now we have had a global update from you.
Exactly.
And
So
now
we have
we
this
have
Yes Bank.
Yes, Bank.
Yes,
I was
Bank,
about
no
to
Bank
come.
now.
You are reading my mind, let me tell you, my
I
friend.
know very well. So can you throw some light on it, please?
Let's come back to our national news right now. And yes, there has been a case of panic. Apart from COVID-19, the panic has been arising from Yes Bank, which is a part of our country. And a lot of people have been affected, particularly Maharashtra, New Delhi, UP, places like these
All over
have been
India.
all over India. But we have a lot of grievance cases cropping up from these states, especially because despite the upper limit of cash withdrawal being set at rupees 50,000 at risk, it has come to our notice, especially through the newspaper today, that the customers are not being able to utilize this withdrawal facility from the ATMs.
Right.
Because the ATMs are running dry, they are running out of cash. And the only option so far left with the customers is to withdraw the cash through checks. Because online or phone banking services are also
completely
not
down.
supporting the clients right now, Idris. So that creates more commotion and the panic level really spikes up when
And,
we
I'll
consider
add it
the
here.
lack of online banking
Right.
services right now.
Let me add something here. If like lots of people are using PhonePe app, right?
Absolutely.
And it's powered by Yes Bank, and
PhonePe.
it's likely that it might also be affected in future.
Yes.
There was a tweet war yesterday between Paytm and PhonePe.
Oh, I was about to ask you the next question. Is Paytm also going to be affected, or people who are using Paytm,
Not
are
as
they?
of now. There's no such update, so let's not.
But PhonePe have been
PhonePe
affected?
is powered by Yes Bank, so there
Oh,
might be
I
some
was
effect.
not aware of that. So this is information for our people here.
Right.
So we can see that panicked Yes Bank customers were seen queuing up at the bank's ATMs at the various locations across the nation, but to no avail, as I mentioned, because most of the cash dispensing ATMs have run dry after the Reserve Bank has placed the crisis-hit lender under a moratorium. However, many customers have said that they were able to withdraw the stipulated amount of rupees 50,000 through the checks at Yes Bank branches. Customers are also facing trouble because the net banking services are not working anymore, and some even complained that their credit cards are also not working, as the Reserve Bank of India has superseded the board of the private sector lender on a precarious financial condition and has appointed a former SBI executive as its administrator now. Customers cannot withdraw more than rupees 50,000 under the moratorium period, which is applicable till the 3rd of April 2020. Let's mark this date down right there. And several customers at a bank branch in central Delhi said that they faced no problem while withdrawing the stipulated sum of rupees 50,000 through checks. So checks right now are the feasible way out, Idris. That's what I can see here from this news which is coming up right now. And internet banking is also not working, and the credit card has also stopped working for most of the clients. However, I was able to withdraw my amount through a check. Now this has been quoted by Lalit Kumar, who is a loyal Yes Bank customer, and he was able to withdraw this amount from the Gold Market branch here. And at an ATM in Ghaziabad, that's Delhi NCR area, the Yes Bank customers queued up to withdraw the money, but to no avail, as again there was no cash in the Ghaziabad and Gurgaon ATMs.
You're getting so much of data from all different people and from all different
Well, like they say, that's our job. And may I tell you that most of the ATMs have been wearing a deserted look due to the non-availability of cash. And also, there was a Delhi-based customer recently who said that he was able to withdraw just a limited amount of rupees 3,000 to 4,000 from one of the ATMs, not 50,000. 3 to 4,000 from the ATM machine, and then he was forced to withdraw the remaining amount again through a check under the moratorium restriction. And however, a display at the post office situated at the Parliament Street read, and I quote, "No Yes Bank checks will be cleared until further notice from the RBI." And besides that, may I tell you that people also complained that Yes Bank facilitated meal cards are also not working. The payment facilitator for small businesses, Instamojo's CEO and co-founder Sampath Swain has said that the company will be temporarily withholding payouts to merchants having Yes Bank accounts until further clarity on this situation. He said, and I quote, "This is to ensure that no merchants' funds get blocked, and as an alternative, we have provided our merchants the option to change their registered bank from Yes Bank to any other account." That's what has been quoted. So I believe that this particular move of switching the bank from Yes Bank to another registered account can come as quite a breather for many clients who are registered with Yes Bank right now.
That SBI has confirmed its rescue plan for Yes Bank.
Oh, so
thing.
we have a rescue plan in the pipeline?
Right, so it comes on this, the New Sunday Express.
Okay. What does it say, Idris?
It exactly says that it's trying to work out how we can, get out of this grave situation.
Yes.
And try to
A practical, feasible situation which can
maybe
get
they
the
can take over
customers
the
out.
bank or something like that. Talks are going on, so that will
Absolutely.
take some time. So we have to wait and watch how
So-
feasible is it for them, because there could be lots of debts on
Lots
Yes
of
Bank.
debts on
They
Yes
have to
Bank,
take care of that, and already there have been lots of bank frauds happening in past also.
which we are quite aware of.
Exactly. So you can take an example of Vijay Mallya.
So we can have
Nirav
some.
Modi.
Yes, absolutely. These cases have been in the limelight for quite some time, and keeping such cases in mind, and several other roadblocks, technical and practical roadblocks,
Exactly.
which SBI might have to face while restoring the situation back to normal.
Right. And
So
Reserve
waiting and
Bank
watching.
of India is also trying to help them, offer the helping
Yes,
hand.
yes.
But
So we
I
have
have
the
some one
Reserve
more
Bank,
news here.
SBI.
I don't know how will you react. Maybe
May I know?
yeah. So it's a let's break the suspense. So it's
Okay.
there's no option but hike the charges.
Oh, please don't bring it up right in the morning.
And I
Idris.
don't know what charges. Don't worry. So it's your electricity bill is gonna increase.
And summers are coming up, Idris. I need my air conditioner and my refrigerator at
So
home.
just
What
try
are you
to switch
talking
it off
about?
and use it less.
So let's switch to normal drinking water and
Yes,
let's
please.
try to live in coolers.
Yes,
Back to the
live a
coolers
simple,
again.
Simple life. Yes.
But don't you think, Idris, that this is really
Not only
going
this,
to strike?
let me interrupt you.
So we are not done here.
Yeah, we're not done yet. So you travel by bus sometimes, right?
Every once in a while, but I try to take the metro more often because
Okay,
of the
so you are
heat.
very lucky that you got the network there, but there are lots of ladies and gents and children, students, and everybody who travels and uses the bus.
Which is quite true.
It's gonna be expensive now.
Are you
It
serious?
is the indication has been given by KCR himself, the Chief Minister of Telangana.
So has this law been passed, or these are just indications right now?
This has been discussed in an assembly already. So the
Discussions
reason
are
behind
already
that
going on.
is this economic slowdown.
I can understand about the economic slowdown, Idris, but I'm sure we can always find a way out. Like the other day, you were telling me about what has been done in Delhi.
Delhi, yes,
And
Kejriwal
how-
has done an amazing job giving the free tickets to ladies.
Women are
on the-
traveling free of charge in the Delhi metro.
Right.
And if that can happen in the national capital, why can't we have a similar strategy right here in Telangana?
Exactly. So I would have really suggested Mr. KCR
To get in touch with the
get
Delhi
in touch
government,
with Delhi
the
government. There's
experts
no
for
harm in
Delhi
discussing
government,
things and exchanging good ideas. So
it's always a good idea to
they're
work
not
together.
running in losses; they are running in profits.
They're thriving, as
Yes,
far as I
exactly.
believe.
Still giving 200 units free every month to consumers.
Because Idris, keeping in mind the temperature and the weather right now, electricity is really going to strike hard, especially with the middle class and the lower middle
Exactly,
class
yes.
of the society. And 80% or more than 80% of the population still travels in these local TSRTC buses
Exactly. It's
and not
lifeline.
in the metro. Primarily because the metro's connectivity is still highly limited because of
Yes.
the construction still underway.
Right.
We only have the blue line and the red line. The green
Yes.
line is still coming up.
And
And
to-
that's just 40% of Hyderabad which is being covered.
Absolutely. And then to reach to the metro station, they will need some mode of transportation.
Again, we need a mode of transport
Exactly.
for that. And for the rest of the places which need to be covered in Hyderabad, we still need our local buses. And the point is that the majority of the people who get these buses are the ones who cannot
Exactly.
afford the metro
Right.
and who cannot afford the cab,
And about the
which
students
is
also.
the lower strata and the lower middle strata of the society, which is going to be badly hit, keeping
Exactly.
in mind their monthly budgets, because these are the ones who are traveling to work every day through buses. So had it been a one-time affair, a rise or the hike in the ticket does not really affect my pocket too much. But if I start thinking of traveling to work or traveling to my studio every day
Right,
through the bus,
every day.
and I have to maintain a bus pass, then my expenses really get spiked. And it's a
Exactly.
matter of concern for my monthly budget and how I,
I know.
you know,
being
devote
a
my budget to
lady,
different
already concerned about your
sectors.
budget, yes.
Being a lady and being a man, this has got nothing to do with gender. There's so many men.
No, I'm
Who are
comparing with the Dalit scenario, so they're getting
Delhi,
free.
yes, the women are having an advantage in
Exactly.
Delhi, and
But it's going to be very difficult.
the women in Telangana are going
Right.
to face quite a challenge along with the men right here.
Right. So what's next? Like what?
Well, once we have the price hike, you know, the price hike has got everything to do with
Yeah,
the
you know-
masses. And when we talk of the masses, how cannot we discuss about the media? Because the masses and the media go hand in
Of course,
hand,
they
you
go
know.
hand in hand. Yes.
Whatever
There was a
is-
ban on to. I was like we were discussing it yesterday, right?
We were discussing that at our studio yesterday about the ban which is being imposed on the media. I have a very twin-minded way of thinking
Okay.
about this.
So what's that
A
like?
part of my mind says that yes, it is important from time to time to have a certain type of a ban on the media, because media has the freedom of conversation.
Right.
They have the freedom to
communicate,
express
yes.
and to communicate the happenings all around. But many a times we have seen that the media persons have taken undue advantage of this freedom.
Understood,
They have
yes.
mishandled this freedom and tried to present news in certain colors and flavors,
Absolutely.
which are very advantageous to the TRP of the
Yes,
media
yes.
channel.
And,
And that presents a
certain
very
political
biased,
parties also, yes.
very biased point of view which they are presenting when it comes to any particular news.
Right.
So like you said, we can have some political parties who are probably getting an advantage out of it.
Houses, yes.
There can be sponsors, there can
So
be
there's a
companies.
possibility, some media houses, they are very open and they want to present the information or communicate in a proper way.
In a neutral way.
Yes, and some political parties, they might influence them. It could be that also. You can't say
And
that.
sometimes, Idris, what happens is that the media persons are not to be blamed all the time. It is the pressure which gets mounted on top of their heads from the political biggies, like you said.
Exactly,
The
yes.
people with power, the people with money, the authorities who are sitting in positions of power and have somehow commanded the
Control,
right
yes,
to
control on
control
that.
these media people who are not sitting in positions of
So
power.
if you could
they
please
feel
throw some more light on this, the
Absolutely.
ban, and it has been lifted. I saw it in one of the papers.
I believe it was a
Yeah,
very
probably-
temporary ban. It was a
Probably in the
2-day
meantime,
ban.
you give us the brief about the ban.
As
I'll
Idris,
just
my
try to figure
friend,
out.
has told you, yes, it was a temporary ban, quite a short ban. It was just a 48-hour ban. So, though the center has lifted this 2-day ban, which was imposed on Asianet News and Media One on Friday in the early hours of Saturday, journalists came together to defend the press freedom. Like I said, I have 2 points of view relating to
Exactly,
this news.
yeah.
One point is that sometimes media persons do take liberty
We
of this
have to
advantage.
identify and analyze the situation and
Absolutely.
see how genuine is the ban.
That is why
Right,
my
that's very
points of
important.
views
Yeah,
are
I really
divided.
appreciate that.
Because a certain sect of the
we have
media,
to be open on both the ends.
because not
both sides.
everybody is bad. It can be
Right.
just a small group of media persons who have tried to misuse this advantage, and because of that small sect of media persons, the entire media industry gets corrupted, or
Exactly.
becomes infamous.
But we are lucky.
Because of just a
we are
small
not
group
one
of
them.
people. We are absolutely not one of them. That is why we always keep several points of views ready, because
Exactly.
we have so many people who are working
We are very
together in any
open-minded,
industry.
broad-minded, we can say. Yeah.
Absolutely, setting role examples right there for
We
the
want
media
to-
people as well.
We want to give something to society. We want to improve the people. Their
That
life.
is our job, sitting in such a powerful position with such a broad platform which reaches out to so many people. It is our job and our duty, our
And we have to
responsibility
be very responsible, like
to
not
convey
taking
the right
names,
message.
not taking names of the person who are rape victims.
Absolutely,
I
not
see
taking their
every
names,
now and then these media houses, they are taking names directly, which is
which
not
is wrong,
good.
which is very
They need to take
insensitive,
permission of
morally
the family.
incorrect,
Yes.
ethically wrong, professionally incorrect. So that should
Right.
not happen. And at the same time, this tone of bias or this tone of judgment should never be there while speaking about any accused person also.
Right.
So until a person has been proven guilty, we should not command our language with a certain tone of bias.
Exactly.
So there are times when we have seen reporters and news readers coming up with a tone of judgment.
Exactly.
So a person might be just accused, but they will talk about that certain particular person with a tone
They
of
treat
judgment,
him
like
as
they
a
have.
criminal, yes.
At the back of their minds, they have already passed a judgment about that person when the judgment is not yet out from the court.
Exactly. And after a few years, we come to know he was an innocent.
Innocent person. So what is happening in Greece is that some people are taking this advantage and not all.
Yes.
So I believe that keeping that fact in mind, keeping the fact in mind that not all media channels are biased, many of them are neutral, the center has
Right.
finally lifted this ban after a 2-day
Right. So what happened on
implement.
Saturday? Can you tell me?
On Saturday afternoon, a group of journalists under the banner of the Kerala Union of Working Journalists demonstrated at the Jantar Mantar in Delhi, protesting against the centre's ban on 2 leading Malayalam news channels. These channels were banned for their reportage during the Delhi violence in 2020, and the reason given was that they could enhance the communal disharmony across the country. So that was a very strong and a valid point, Idris, which I can understand against these 2 Malayalam channels. And though the centre has lifted the 48-hour ban now, which was imposed on Asianet News and Media One on Friday in the early hours of Saturday, journalists have now come together to defend the press freedom as well. Because like we said, we have 2 sects of journalists. One which continuously has had a tendency of becoming biased, and one like us, which has forever been neutral and has never decided to take any side until a particular person has been proven guilty or innocent.
Yes. Very
So we have never been like that.
Very right. So you're a very lovely woman. We are
Oh,
celebrating
thank you.
National Women's Day. isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm so pepped about it. I'm sure you are as well.
So you see this paper, it's
Yes.
Times Life, it says woman who dare.
Women who dare, and
Yeah.
it's high time that women start stepping out and daring and taking charge of their lives, because Idris, according to my Deccan Chronicle,
Uh-huh.
we have already started our International Women's Day celebrations at
Exactly.
the Telangana Bhavan
Oh
yesterday.
wow, that's wonderful.
And may I tell you, we have 3 very striking examples of strong women personalities right here from Telangana who are constantly breaking the glass ceiling and setting new examples for women, becoming role models for women, and inspiring and motivating many women from Telangana to step out and take charge of their lives and live the life that they have always dreamed of.
Right.
To become courageous, to have hope for their future, and do what they want to do. I have
Exactly.
right here Janani Rao, who works with Swiggy,
Wow.
and she is the first food delivery woman. How
Wow,
interesting is
interesting.
that?
That's very
We also
brilliant.
have with us Jay Tippal, who is, mind you, a boxer.
Oh my god.
And we hear of so many male boxers. We have a boxer right here, so she can give you a punch or two if you rub her the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm a good boy,
You're a good we can vouch for that. Being a woman and working with him for the past 5 years, we can
Yes,
say.
exactly. Yeah.
I know Idris quite
And
well.
the credit goes to you, of course. You always, keep me updated with the things, how we have to behave. I've become a very great person,
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and the credit goes to you. Yeah,
It's just a habit of mine that I will keep updating
Yes.
my friend right here about the changes which are happening in the society. But we also have one more lady right here, and her profession will surprise you quite strongly. She is Venapusa Narayanama. She is an auto rickshaw driver.
Wow, that's
So
like
there are women
amazing.
all around us from the society who are breaking the glass ceiling, ladies. It is time for you to step out of your comfort zone and do what you have always dreamed of doing, because the sky is the limit and there is nobody to stop you until you decide to stop yourself.
right.
It is all there in your mind. You know, it's just a matter of the glass ceiling. That is why we
Exactly,
call
yes.
it the glass ceiling, because it's actually not there.
Yeah.
But we, the women,
have created it,
created
yes,
it
yeah.
because of decades and decades of society's conditioning, which has gone into the minds. But it is now time to break that conditioning, because the society has changed it.
Yes, it has
The
changed,
times
but
have
not
changed.
everybody is lucky, you know, not everybody is
Not
privileged.
everybody is lucky. So, see, we have so many independent women these days right
Right.
now. So, what exactly is the definition of an independent woman?
Yeah.
Now, according to the Urban Dictionary, an
Right.
independent woman is one who can pay her own bills, buy the things that she wants or
Uh-huh.
desires, and most importantly, does not allow anybody to affect her stability or her self-confidence.
Right.
So that is an independent woman. But having said that, we do have many independent women around us. Like you
Yes.
were mentioning the other day, your mother and your sister.
Yes, of course.
Both of them are working women,
They are
highly
working, they
smart and
taking care of
independent.
everything, and you know, I'm here, good boy. You always praise me. They also bind my this.
They have been
behavior.
your role models. How is it
Yours
like
should
to
be.
live with working women every day? How is it like?
So I'll tell you, it's like a beautiful experience. Of course, like when I get up in the morning, so my mom, she takes care of me
Yes,
from my childhood, right?
lovely.
And she's taught me one thing: how to cook, how to, you know, I mean, do my clothes, and
Right
laundry, and how to clean the house also,
That is
and
so
how
important.
to very important, how to behave with the ladies outside at work,
Exactly.
at while I'm traveling, while I'm on the road, how to, you know, look at girls and change my perspective. So,
That's because you have been living with working women yourself, and that in itself has taught you to respect them, because you have
Yes.
seen them day in, day out, taking care of you, taking care of the
Exactly.
family, and taking care of the work. That in itself brings about a sense of respect in your mind and heart, I'm
Absolutely,
sure.
yes, you're right.
But having said that, just because we're discussing about your mother, this one thought comes up into my mind. Idris, don't you think that it is still quite unfair on,
Yes, it is.
on the
Of course,
part
you're
of the
talking
women?
Yeah, you're talking about that example that
Yes.
PepsiCo CEO.
I'm going to come to her
Can you
in
please-
just a short while,
Yeah.
but before that, because this year's logo or the catch line for International Women's Day is each for equality, which means all of us are supposed to be
Yes.
fighting or
We
striving
support
for
it.
equality
Yes.
of both the genders. But Idris, in our day-to-day lives, are we actually getting to see that? No. The answer
Not
is a
all there.
strong, blaring no, and I will justify why. Because when a man steps out of the house to work and earn for the family, that man is not expected to come back from work and cook and
Cook,
take care
yes.
of the family, take care of the kids.
But I'm not one of them, you know.
We are not one of them, but most of the women in most of the Indian households still are expected to take care of the house as well as the work. They are expected to be great mothers, they are expected to be great wives,
Right.
devoted daughter-in-laws, and at the same time, they are expected to be qualified professionals who are quite successful at their work and
Right.
earning the big bucks for their companies.
Right.
So, why is it that the man is exempted from this exemption and a man can have his own way and live a life according to his convenience? And why is
also
it that a woman
impose
can't?
impose his thoughts on women.
And the man is still imposing his thoughts on the woman, and the man still takes the liberty from time to time to be quite insensitive. And not just the man, the entire family tends to become insensitive from time to time and ends up speaking to the woman in a rather disrespectful tone when the woman is not able to live up to the so-called expectations of the family, as far
yes.
as being a great mother or the great wife is concerned. All these tags which have to be worn by a woman every day, but not a man. Even
Exactly.
a man who's a working professional is a husband, is a son-in-law,
Yes, of
is a
course,
father.
yes.
So as a society, why don't we expect the man to be a perfect husband and a perfect father all the
Absolutely,
time,
yes.
along with being a
Yes.
perfect professional? Why is only a woman expected to carry out all these roles with panache and absolute professionalism every day, and a man can just live a far more convenient and a
Yes.
comfortable life, just
Right.
being the
Being a
corporate,
man,
just being a corporate employee or a boss, or maybe the head of any organization.
Yes, right, that's
So
right.
that
Absolutely.
is quite unfair and quite unequal, and I think the blame goes right into this strong patriarchal setup which we have had for
yes.
decades and
It's been
decades.
decades and decades, yes.
And I feel that with 2020 and this International Women's Day, the time has come to start breaking down this patriarchal setup
Exactly.
which we have, because the lines between the genders are slowly and slowly blurring. Women are stepping out more and more and taking up jobs, and it's high time that men start taking a cue from men, using her as a role model to learn the household work. You know, the other day there was a tweet on Twitter. I would just like to share it with
Yes,
you and
please.
our audience right now. It had a very beautiful saying. It said, you know, keeping in mind the modern day marriages and why they are failing. And they are failing primarily because women want to work more and men are still unwilling to take care of the household work
That's something.
or lend a hand
Oh,
in the household work and
I
help out their women. Men are still unwilling. So there was this tweet and it goes something like this. Teach your daughter to be financially independent, have a job, so that she does not have to marry a master, and teach your son to take care of the house and of himself, so that he does not have to marry a servant.
lovely.
And how beautiful,
It's
how
beautiful.
thoughtful is
It
that?
makes sense, of course.
This is the way we can finally strive to bridge that gap between the two
Exactly.
genders.
We have
Between
to
you and me, for example.
see.
You take care of the house at the same time you're working.
Absolutely.
I take care of the house at the same time I'm working as well. And that is the only way to bring about gender equality.
Exactly, and I mean, we should support each other. If you're at office, I'm at home, then I mean, I can cook, right?
There are so many
Right.
working couples and both of
Right.
them have to work these days,
Exactly.
keeping in mind the expenses, and now we have the price hikes.
Price
Oh
hike
my
is
God,
great there, yeah.
you know, electricity bills and so many bills, the prices will be hiked, and the man and the woman both have to step out and work and take care of the household expenses. But
Exactly.
it is not just the responsibility of a woman to take care of the house as well as the job.
As the job.
The
is.
man also needs to level up, or rather I should say the man needs to man up, become
Exactly.
more mature,
Right.
understand the changing situations, the changing lifestyles, and really be willing to help with the household chores.
Exactly, yes.
And we need to understand, we need to bring this thought home that helping out with household chores does not make you any less of a man. Here's
Exactly,
a man right
yeah.
here, a
I'm
man in
live
his full
example
right,
here, yes, exactly.
helping out your mother
Do you
and
like
your
the
sister.
food I cooked the other day?
Absolutely wonderful. Idris had this home cooked lunch
Yes.
prepared by him, and it was a full course meal. Chapatis and rice and curries and whatnot.
Everything, yeah, very
Idris,
good
that
at
was
everything, yes.
really impressive. And that does not make Idris any less of a man.
Yeah, of course not.
In fact, women find it impressive, quite
Yes.
impressive. So that makes you more of a
you
man.
heard lots of compliments about me. In the
Absolutely.
office, all the girls are talking
So
about
many
me.
female colleagues that we are working with constantly, and women are quite impressed with this gentleman right here. So many men need to and should take cues from this handsome gentleman
Yes.
right
I
here.
believe in respect. That's the only thing. We should respect each other and support each other. I think we can go on and on about this topic.
It's just the law of
But,
nature. You give,
we-
you get. You no give, you no get.
CVR English has done a
Absolutely.
very nice promo. I would like my producers to please play it.
The promo where we had all the lovely and hard-working female employees of CVR News, and they have a very strong and a powerful message for all of you. So if we can have our team play that promo for our lovely audience right here.
Challenge the bias, celebrate the equality. Each for equal.
Independent, powerful, and empowered women are already on top of the world. It's time that the world stops being intimidated. Each for equal.
Make the whole world your own, so oneness alone matters. Each for equal. Set the right targets and dream your destiny. Each for equal. Be inclusive all the time, everywhere. Each for equal. We are women. We are strong everywhere. Each for equal. In the world of instantations, we are the key strategists. Each for equal. Each for equal. We are all parts of a whole. Together, we can make it change. Each for equal. Challenge the bias, celebrate the
So that was each
Each
for
for
equality.
equality.
That was absolutely brilliant. Now,
That was
just
a
like you
strong
asked
message,
me,
yes.
you know, that very viral interview which
Yes,
happened
right.
about 5 years ago in the United States of America. I would just like to bring that to the notice of our audience before we shut down for today and go on with our lives and celebrate
I'm all
International Women's
ears
Day.
because that's an interesting topic. You have discussed it previously, so please
I have
quickly.
discussed it so
I
many
really
times
want
with my
our
colleagues.
audience to know about that.
But on International Women's Day, I want everybody to know about this. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an interview which happened about 5 years ago, and this happened with none other than Indra Nooyi, who is the CEO of PepsiCo. Now, everybody knows about Pepsi.
Absolutely.
She is the
Yeah.
first Indian woman to become the CEO or the head of an American multinational company,
PepsiCo.
Something, a brand which all of us know about.
Everybody
Now,
knows
this happened on the eve of the declaration of the fact that she was to become the head of the board of directors. So the day it was declared at her office, the day the committee or the brand decided that Indra
Right.
has to become the CEO, and it was finalized, and she was very pepped about it. She was excited. She rushed all the way home and she ran up the stairs to disclose this happy news to her entire family.
Wow.
And she found her mother waiting for her at the top of the stairs with that look on her face,
Okay.
which was not quite pleasant. And before Indra could say anything, all she could manage was, "I have some great news for you." And all her mother said was, "The news can wait. We don't have milk in the house. Just go and get some milk." And the irony of the situation was that her husband had returned home 2 hours earlier.
Oh my
And the
goodness.
man
That's-
could have got the milk because he was already
On
at
the
home,
way
but it
also.
was expected that Indra goes and takes care of the household chores. But nevertheless, she put everything aside and she went, she got the milk and she dumped it on the kitchen table. And then she told her mother, "By the way, I had some great news for you. I just got appointed as the CEO of PepsiCo." And can you even imagine the reaction that her mother would have given her?
I believe she would have been excited, isn't it?
Excited, all
Yes.
pepped about it. They would have been had
Celebrations. should have been there,
instantaneous
right?
celebrations in the
Exactly, yes.
household, but Idris, let me tell you, none of that happened. And this is what her mother said, and I quote, "Forget about what happens outside the house. Just forget about it.
Yes.
When you come inside the house, you are somebody's wife,
Wife,
you're somebody's mother,
mother.
you are a daughter-in-law,
Daughter.
and you are a daughter. And this is all that you are inside the house. So that crown which you are wearing, that crown of competence, just leave that in the garage before you step
See,
inside the house."
I
How sad and how
yes,
shocking
exactly.
was
I
that?
noticed here, she being a lady and this being a lady, so ladies
And
have to
Idris,
play an important role
Not
also.
just any lady. Although there are
Yes.
so many entrepreneurs in our society, Indra heads a company known as PepsiCo
Exactly.
in the United States of America.
America, yeah.
Can you imagine being the CEO of an American company and being an Indian woman to head an American company?
And still
That
getting
is a feat for which I have no words. If this can
True.
happen to a super successful entrepreneur, a businesswoman like Indra Nooyi, we can't even begin to imagine about how many women in Telangana who are going through a similar situation at their home. Super
Right.
successful women, they can
Exactly,
be employees,
yes.
they can be bosses,
Right.
they can be running entire firms or businesses, they can be entrepreneurs. There can be many women in the state right now who are not getting the same kind of support or appreciation from their
Right.
family as their male counterparts are. For
Yes.
example, their husbands might be getting celebrations
Exactly.
and appreciations in huge amounts from their families.
very true, yes.
But the same families are probably not showering that much of appreciation onto the woman,
Woman,
because
yes.
the woman is constantly expected to have it all.
Yes.
Take care of the family,
Take
take care
care
of
of
the
everything,
child,
yes.
and take care of the job, and be equally successful at all the domains of life.
Yes.
That is the inequality that I'm sad about, and I wanted to discuss with you and our audience at CVR News.
Yes.
And because each for equality is the catch line for this year's International Women's Day, this is
Right.
what all of us, you and us, need to strive for. Need to strive for a gender equality as far as taking on the roles and responsibilities.
Exactly.
as
So
possible.
women also had to play a critical role to
At
respect
home
other women.
and outside home.
Exactly.
And women and men at the same time need to take up dual responsibilities
Absolutely,
as well.
yes.
At home
So
and
everybody,
outside home.
each and everyone is responsible, and
And
we
like
need
you
to-
said, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like you
Uh-huh.
said, women on women. Women also need to support each other.
Absolutely, yeah,
Girls
that's what-
love, women love.
Yes.
there are times when women are just hating on each other.
Nature, yeah.
There are
exactly.
times when there is so much of competition and negativity in the work culture because of women getting jealous of each other,
Exactly.
hating on each other,
We
gossiping
have
about
discussed
each
that the
other.
other day about those.
The other day we
Right,
discussed
so, yeah.
it has been happening
But
at several offices.
they should be thankful to you. You reconciled, and then everything was okay. They started loving each other. Now
And
they're good
that's it.
friends.
See, the point is that I am deriving my inspiration from you because you are such a positive role model for so many men of Telangana.
Thank you.
You know, to take care of the household chores, to step in and help out our ladies at the house, and also
Right.
be a successful employee like yourself.
Thank you.
So I have taken on the responsibility onto my shoulders to make sure that more and more women start loving each other and supporting each other.
Yes, of
Because if
course.
we as women will not support each other, how can we expect the men of our society to support us?
Right.
Like they say, charity always begins at home.
Home.
So if I can't support my own work, I can't expect the other person to support me.
Absolutely,
And the same
yes.
applies to women and women on women. So
Exactly.
let's start loving each other, supporting each other and each other's hard work and endeavors. And slowly, we ourselves will start setting such a positive example in our society that the men will want to step in by themselves
Absolutely, yes.
and take care of the women in their lives
Absolutely, yeah.
and
it's,
help
it's
them out.
changing, yes, it's changing, yes, of course.
Absolutely.
The change is here.
The
Because
law
if
of
you-
nature, you
Yeah.
know. I give, I get. You give me, you get.
Absolutely.
So, you know, give, you know, get. That's how it works
Exactly.
for both the men
We
and
have to
women.
support each other. We are human beings. Everybody is equal, and all I
Yeah.
can say, we should respect each other. Very
Respect
simple,
each
yes.
other, support each other, and let's have equality for each other, men and
Absolutely.
women. And
Yes.
let's strive to be successful together.
Exactly.
Be it the house or be it outside the house, in the
Makes-
workplace. Let's be successful together as
Exactly,
men and
and
women.
make our life simple and easy. Right?
That is
Isn't
the
it?
true definition
Yes.
of feminism and equality.
Yes.
And before we close, we have something very special coming up tomorrow, Idris.
Yes, of course.
And that is Holi,
Holi,
the
yes.
very colorful and a vibrant festival, also known as Basant Utsav in certain parts
Yeah,
of the
right,
region.
right.
So we have Holi coming up, but having said that, and I know a lot of celebrations are in the pipeline at our office as well, but let's stick to biodegradable organic colors and let's
Right.
try to avoid the wet colors, the water-based
Particularly
colors.
for the beautiful women out there, who have got very delicate skin and
Delicate
beautiful
skin, and
skins.
they're quite particular about
Exactly.
their skincare regime. So please stick to herbal gulals and especially try to avoid the pichkaris because we have this
Exactly.
craze for pichkaris and we need water-based colors for those. But most of these colors available in the market are chemical-based and they have been scientifically proven to be carcinogenic. It can initiate or trigger skin cancer
Skin
as
cancer,
well.
yes.
So why to bring such complications into our lives?
Absolutely, yes.
Let's have a very safe, a very enjoyable
And
and a
playful
colorful
Holi.
and a vibrant Holi with herbal gulal. And again, before we close, it's International Women's Day. The responsibility tomorrow, that's Holi, will again lie on the shoulders of the men to ensure that it is a safe Holi for women because cases of eve teasing rise quite a lot
Absolutely,
on the
yes.
occasion of Holi. Bura na mano Holi hai. That
Yes.
is the tagline which men are quite used to.
Exactly.
So let's try to avoid eve teasing as much as we can, and men, we need to become the police for tomorrow as well, and
I'm
make
ready.
sure that the women in our family and the women all around us feel safe and secure, so that they can also enjoy their Holi as much as you do.
Yes.
So, having said that, once again, a very happy International Women's Day to all the lovely women out there from Hyderabad, each for equality.